This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us, America. Christy Wright, Ramsey personality, is my co-host today. #1 best-selling author with her new book out for sale on pre-sale right now. Take Back Your Time, The Guilt-Free Guide to Life Balance. Be sure you check that out at RamseySolutions.com. We're here to talk to you about your life and your money. The phone number, 888-825-5225. Jacob is with us. Hey, Jacob, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How you doing?
Great, man. What's up?
Not much. So I've got a good problem, so to speak. My wife and I, we've been really good with money ever since we've been married. Never really had any debt other than our house. I had a good opportunity to make some good money the past years at work, but recently I took a promotion, which kind of came with a pay cut because there's no overtime. And so I'm trying to get our family locked down on budgeting. And I've had some resistance the past years from my wife, and it's not because she's not great with money, but she's full-time teacher. She's mom, 4 kids, runs our house. And so the problem is she pays for a lot of our miscellaneous expenses that are not like mortgage, utilities, things of that nature. And so I need her input and her information to help make our budget work. But usually every time I need to get it, she's just so busy, it becomes a little bit of a tense, conflict between us, and it just stops. So I don't know if you had any advice on how to kind of get your wife on board when she's busy and she's great with money, but it's hard to make a budget when you can't get her half of what she's spending and try to figure that whole thing out.
She's not busy. She doesn't want you telling her what to do. Busy's an excuse.
Like, go on, Dave. Please expound.
She is busy, but busy's an excuse. She doesn't want you telling her what to do.
How much pay
And you
cut
told me
did you
3
take?
times how good she is with money, and yet she doesn't do a budget. So she's not good with money. That's also BS.
How much pay cut did you take? I feel like that's coming into play somehow.
Well, I worked a ridiculous amount of overtime. I'm in law enforcement, and so, as you know, the crime rate's been kind of spiking around the country. So I went from probably the 170 range because of all the overtime down to about 110.
And did y'all talk about that extensively and all the repercussions of that decision before it happened?
Oh, absolutely. I was in a very high-use area of law enforcement, and so I was gone a lot. And we both kind of realized there was a certain shelf life with that. And so the promotion was the best way out of that because it came with a guaranteed pay increase, but I could be home a lot more and not, getting burnt out so much.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool.
So,
well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You have been handling all the money and giving her an allowance to run the household on, and she doesn't want you tinkering in her allowance. So, you have to have a bigger vision to get her to speak into this, and the bigger vision includes her voice counts, her vote counts. She is not going to have things taken away from her, but she is going to hold herself accountable, and you both are going to be held accountable to a plan that you put in place to cause your future to happen. And that is simply, we're going to sit down and the kids are going to go to bed, and we're going to sit down, and we're going to turn off the television, and we're going to have, it takes about 45 minutes a week for the first 90 days, and after that it takes about 20 minutes a week to keep a budget going. So it does not take that much time. This is about more than time.
Well, and the other thing, Jacob, and I'll tell you, because my husband and I do this exactly like this, we will decide in advance when we're going to have that conversation. So if he came to me about anything, when I'm in the middle of putting meals on the table or wrangling the kids, no, I'm not, that's not a good time to do that thing, because it's all hands on deck when the kids are up. But if you say, hey, I'd like for us to work on the budget on Sunday night at 8, does that work for you? And she says, yes, that works for me, or no, let's do this time instead. And you literally put it on the calendar. Okay, so I just want to are we on the same page here? Sunday night at 8, the kids are down. We're gonna get the kitchen cleaned up. We're gonna sit down and work on this together. Is that good for you? Just agree on it.
Because I want your input, and because I want us to be in agreement about where our future's going. We've done a good job to date, but with this pay cut, I'm really nervous, and I need your help.
Yeah. And you plan it. Plan when you're going to have that conversation, and then you do. So then when Sunday night comes, you're like, okay, here we go. It's just agreed upon. It's not in the moment trying to squeeze in a major conversation when life can be chaotic. So just put it on the calendar. And again, like Dave said, share the why of it. Why does this matter? Why and how you value her opinion, and it's going to give a different tone to it that will hopefully make it go better.
Yeah, you guys have never agreed on your spending before. You together. You agreed on the mortgage stuff, and that she got X number of dollars after that to run the household, in quotes, whatever that meant to her, and you didn't care what it meant. And so, but now you have to care, which is good. So you're going to aim at the future at a little bit more detail and say, as a couple, we're going to set the vision for where we want to be in 10 years. And as a couple, we're going to decide what we have to do to accomplish that vision.
Yeah.
And the budget would reflect that.
And Jacob, I mean, when you're having this conversation, one other thing I'll throw in there, I know we're giving you several tips here, but ask her why she doesn't want to do it. I'm a direct person. Sometimes I'm like, if I sense resistance, I'll be like, hey, seems like you don't want to do this. Just tell me why.
Well, she's already told him she's too busy.
I know,
but that's not true.
No, but that's what I mean. Keep pressing. Say, no, like Sunday night, we're not busy or whatever time. Hey, is it because you feel like I'm taking money away? Is it because you feel like you don't get a say? Is it because you, whatever, just ask some open-ended questions. And then maybe if you peel away the layers there, the first answer you might get is she's busy. But then once you keep pressing and in a loving way, it might be like, hey, I'm really scared of what what it's going to look like, or I'm scared I'm not going to have money for. Then you start to be able to solve things at the root issue, which is actually where they need to be solved. It's not this surface level busy conversation. You actually get to what's really going on. So don't be afraid to ask some of those direct questions, but ask them in love, and then you might find the real answer, so you can start to work at it at that level.
Yeah, from 30 years of doing this, my suspicion is that it feels like you're taking away some of her power.
Yeah.
Because this is an area that you're like asking to move into her territory. This has been delegated to her, and now you're actually wanting to know what's going on, and she doesn't like you having a voice in it. And because she's used to running it, and leave me alone, and I haven't done a bad job, and there's no reason. Well, there is a reason. We need to do this together and make a decision together.
Yeah.
And it can be some of the biggest fights you have if you don't get through that. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Very, very, very important. So, folks, when you learn to do a plan together, a spending plan together, that's what Rachel calls it because she likes to spend, a spending plan. That's all a budget is. You're telling your money what to do instead of wondering where it went. As a couple, when you are married and you decide together where you're doing that, you are officially deciding what's important to you. As a couple. Both of you have a say, and we join our values into one. And we say, as a couple, we think this is more important than that. We think this thing here is a big deal. We want to get both of these done, but this one's going first. And when you start making those decisions together, you create a level of unity in your relationship that you can create no other way. A budget is unique in doing that as a marriage enhancement tool. This is The Ramsey Show.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
Ramsey personality, is my co-host, #1 best-selling author and author of the new book on pre-sale now. It launches in early September. Take Back Your Time, the guilt-free guide to life balance. If you get it at RamseySolutions.com in the store, you will find it's a $20 book, but it comes with $100 plus worth of goodies that go with it. All kinds of fun things happening, including a live stream that she and I are doing on launch week, and all about life balance. And so she's doing it. I'm going to yak a little bit. And so, but anyway, we're looking forward to this book launch. It is a fabulous book on balancing your life. This whole thing of life balance has got so many lies out there about it, and so much guilt and shame around the subject. And Christy's cut through all of that and put it together this great book. 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Take Back Your Time is the book, The Guilt-Free Guide to Life and Balance. All right, let's try, wait a minute. So, what did you say, Laura?
She said no. No phones right now.
The phones are dead? Oh, great. Okay, that's cool. All right, well, let's yak about this then, because it's a good subject. And
well, let's talk about the lies, because you're right. There's a lot of guilt and shame around this topic. Here's what I've found. We don't know what balance is. We just know we don't have it. And so we have this feeling that haunts us that we're always failing. No matter what we do, we're doing the wrong thing. And that's why I love this subtitle, The Guilt-Free Guide to Life Balance, because similar to what we were saying earlier, Dave, in the conversation about money, there's always the issue below the issue. And if we don't address the deeper issues that are at play with how we manage our time, then the symptoms are going to keep creeping up again and again in our calendar. And so I really dig into what's going on that keeps us from feeling like we are doing the right things at the right time, and showing people what that looks like in a practical way. I was actually hosting the Ramsey Show with Ken last week, or 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about this, and I think it's one of those things where there's a seasonality to our life. And so whether someone is starting a new job, paying off their debt in baby step number 2, they have a new baby, whatever that looks like, the season you're in will affect how you spend your time, what's right for you right now, and even what your version of balance looks like. And I don't think enough people talk about that. They don't talk enough about the season you're in and how that affects what you spend your time on.
And, it occurs to me that you get tired, exhausted physically. Mm-hmm. You can get exhausted emotionally. Mm-hmm. You can even get exhausted intellectually. Yeah. Your brain just starts to hurt. And in almost every one of those types of exhaustion where the fatigue is, smothering, mm-hmm. It's not because you were busy. Yeah. It's because you were living in chaos. Yeah, yeah. And you felt like that there's this internal thing pulling at you the whole time you're busy, that you're doing the wrong thing at the wrong time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that exhausts you more thoroughly than just being tired from working. Yeah, and it can feel, when you're in one of those seasons where you are tired or exhausted or stressed, it can feel like it's going to last forever, and it doesn't. And so even remembering this is a season of getting out of debt, a season of little kids, a season of whatever, it won't last forever. It gives you a new level of strength and even more of an objective perspective to be able to get through that season, because it's not going to last forever. This is not a forever thing. Maybe you're in a tough time, but this is not forever. And so I want to help people identify their season they're in, figure out what life balance looks like in that season for them, and then show them how they can get through it in practical ways. Yeah, it is not about necessarily doing less of something. It's about doing the right thing at the right time on purpose. Yeah, you can feel balanced and still be busy. And I'm busy. I'm super busy, but I'm doing the right things. And so even though, yes, of course, at the end of the days, I'm tired, but I'm energized from doing the right things. It's not that kind of tired of, oh man, I feel all this guilt because I'm doing the wrong things. It's once you begin to align your time with what's most important to you, what you actually care about, those things are life-giving to you, and it gives you energy to get through it. It makes you feel more balanced. It also makes you have more fun because you're doing the right things. The book is Take Back Your Time, The Guilt-Free Guide to Life Balance, at RamseySolutions.com in the store. Danielle is in Santa Cruz, California. Hi, Danielle. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Hi, Christy. How are you guys?
Hey. Great. How can we help?
Awesome. Okay, so let's see. We have been debt-free since January. Thank you for that. I just have a quick question about retirement stuff. We have a fully funded emergency fund. My husband cashed out his retirement a couple years ago. This was before you. And so we know now it was a huge mistake. And so I have some retirement saved up from a job that I had before we got married. And so he's like 7 or 8 years older than I am. And so I'm wondering if we should front load his IRAs, 401ks, all of that stuff, and kind of let him catch up to me because he's going to reach 59 and a half, probably 7 years before I will.
By front load, you mean out of your baby step 4, your 15%?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you're putting 15% into retirement, you're just saying put more of it in his name because he's going to hit 59 and he can access it.
Yes, and I already have about $16,000 in my retirement. So he has about $1,000.
How old are you guys?
I'm 26 and he's 32.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
You have 30 freaking years. You're going to be okay. Yeah, doesn't
Okay,
matter.
good.
Just put 15% in the right place. Don't worry about this.
Okay.
Lord, I thought you were like 50 and he was 62 or something. Okay. But, no, I didn't think you were that old. I just couldn't figure out. The question lent itself to that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you are the master planner, girl. I mean, you plan way out. That's awesome. That's going to bode well for you. But my point is, I think you're overthinking it a little at this stage. So
Okay.
I think you'll be just fine to do the right thing. Get the best match. Whoever has that. That's number one. Then number two, get as much Roth as you can get. And then who has the best selection of mutual funds, and both of you have a Roth with mutual funds up to 15% of your income in your baby step 4. I assume you're at baby step 4 and you know what that means.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's where this question stemmed from. But yeah, you got enough time. You're going to be okay.
Yeah. I'm with you. Whenever she was asking, I was thinking like this was any minute. Like he might retire like in a few years. So we're trying to like speed this up. But yeah, you got plenty of time. You're getting started way earlier than most, Danielle. So well done.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's change the question to what I thought it was.
Okay. Someone that's older.
Because let's say she's 40 and he's 53. Mm-hmm. That's where I kind of thought we were.
Okay.
So he's got like 6 years before he can access this. And if we put a bunch in his name, even if they were a little less performing mutual fund, or maybe it wasn't a Roth and we would rather have a Roth, that kind of thing, at least we got some in his name because it's going to be several years before she catches up.
Yeah.
But if she had $300,000 in her account and he had almost none in his account, and there was that kind of, and you were that close to this, yeah, I might then say, let's do that. But
right.
She's got enough time. It's all going to work out.
Yeah.
Melanie is with us in Canada. Hi, Melanie. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi there, Dave and Christy. How are you?
Hey, great. What's going on?
Great. I have a question. I'm on baby step 2 right now. I'm 77,000. I'm working away at it. So I've got a second job. I'm trying to throw as much money at my debt as I can. But my eldest son, he's 18. He's destined for university, but he's doing one more extra year of high school. That buys me a little bit of time. He's unable to work. He's sick. But I have enough money to fund completely his first year university. But my plan always before you was just to like feed and house them kind of deal. They would have to pay for their tuition. Well, now obviously that can't happen. So I don't know if I should be throwing my money at my debt.
He's so sick he can't work, but he can go to university?
Oh, no. We're hoping. There's a hope. So I'm just trying to plan for when he gets to be able to go.
Yeah. I don't know. I would have to think through this really hard before I put his paying for his school ahead of you getting out of debt. I think he's got to work this out, and you got to help him work it out. I'm with you on that.
Scholarships, grants, other options too, maybe.
Yeah. Let's be real careful here. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Justin and Kelsey are with us. Hey guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Welcome. Where do y'all live?
Kenosha, Wisconsin.
All right. Well, welcome to Nashville. And here to do a debt-free scream, how much have you paid off?
$146,000.
Wow. Awesome. How long did this take?
26 months.
Woohoo! And your range of income during that time?
We started at 125 and we ended at 146.
Excellent. What do you guys do for a living?
So I work in the business operations department for a large recreation facility.
Mm-hmm. And I run a business analytics department.
Cool.
Awesome.
Well, welcome, guys. What kind of debt was the $146,000?
It was pretty much everything: credit cards, student loans, vehicles, medical bills, cell phones, a mattress. We're normal people.
All
so
of it. All
yeah,
of it.
pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Just great Americans.
Yep, pretty much.
I love it. Way to go, guys. So how long you guys been married?
9 months.
9 months?
Whoa.
So you started working on this before marriage, during engagement period, I guess.
Yes,
all
sir.
right.
Yeah.
So tell us the story. How did this go down?
Well, we had some good encouragement. My now mother-in-law was at the tail end of her debt-free journey, following the baby steps, and so we decided to sit down and put this on paper and actually look at everything. And our goal was to try to finish this before being married, knowing that when we become married, we're going to want to know all these things and obviously be on the same page. So it took us a little longer than we wanted, but we still got to the end of the road there.
Yeah, 26 months is not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. So who had the most of the debt?
It was pretty even, to be honest.
Okay.
Pretty even split.
I think when we sat down, we just kind of, we knew going into the relationship we both had debt, and we just kind of sat down and put it all out there. There was no judgment. It was kind of like, this is what I have, this is what you have, and we just wanted to be upfront about that before we even got married, and
Well, good for you. That's impressive that you guys were so receptive to it. Because a lot of people, when someone, a loving family member, for example, comes to them and says, hey,
like your mother-in-law,
you need some help, people dig their heels in. So what was that like? Was it the Total Money Makeover book? Did you listen to the podcast? Like, how did you guys get in line with the plan and the baby steps and all that?
Yeah, so I think like Justin said, my mom was at the tail end of baby step 2 when we started, and I think we kind of just were living like normal people, and then we saw all the success that we had, and we realized there was more to life than just paying other people.
Yeah.
And we kind of joke because we probably were putting 40 to 50% of our take-home pay towards debt every month.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, we can go on like a week-long vacation every month because the money that we're paying towards other people. We just realized there was more, and we didn't want to work forever.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's just tackle this now, and we're still young and have a better future.
Good for you.
So
How old are you guys?
I am 28.
32.
Way to go, guys.
Awesome.
Very cool. So, I mean, you tackle one of life's biggest subjects while you're engaged, going into your marriage, and finish it up in the first year of your marriage.
Yep.
That's a big deal from a relationship standpoint. It sets you on a really solid foundation to do anything you want to do now. From a math standpoint, you're free to be able to do anything you want to do.
Right.
That's very, very impressive.
Yeah.
And just to
Very
be on the
well
same
done.
page with your values, like the fact that you both were all in from the beginning, that's huge. So many couples try to get on the same page in order to work the plan, where it's one's like, can I get my spouse on board? And you guys are both just like, yeah, let's do it. So what a great foundation to start your marriage on.
Yeah.
Really turned our tables when we were we sat down and put everything on, and then we were planning the wedding, and unfortunately COVID turned our dream wedding into a not dream wedding. So
Sure.
we had to pivot in a lot of that, but because of the road we were on, it made those decisions easier on having to pull back on what we wanted to do for our wedding,
Yeah.
and then put some other things in place. It was not as much worry and risk anymore because we were really close to the end. So
Good for you.
Yeah, that's cool. Very good, guys. All right, now what's the big deal when people say, how do you pay off $146,000 in 26 months, making $140,000? What do you tell them?
I think it's really the budget for myself, putting it on paper, seeing it, and actually seeing it come in and come out. As you usually allude to, you're putting it out there to show what you're able to do and give yourself permission. So getting it on paper and visibility, I think, would be my big thing.
Yeah, Justin's kind of the nerdy spreadsheet guy.
No, the data guy?
Yeah.
The data guy. No way.
Yeah, so he made the budget. We obviously had our budget meetings. I think Justin hit the nail on the head. It was kind of crazy for us to actually sit down and look at the budget and realize we're spending X amount of money going out to eat and X amount of money on, random Amazon purchases that we don't need. And it's like, wow, why are we spending all this money on things that, don't really matter when we could be putting this at our debt? And I think the big key is just following the budget. I know you allude to that all the time, but I personally think that is the key. Following the budget, making sure you're, staying on track with all that stuff.
Well, it's so interesting that you guys say that, because we can say it all day, but hearing from people that have actually followed the budget and gotten debt free is so powerful. And, on YouTube, they were just showing y'all's tracker system. It's so fascinating because research shows that nothing is more motivating than seeing progress. And so when you guys begin to track it, with your, a lot of people have visual charts and you've got your budget and that type of thing. You see that progress, it motivates you to want to make more progress, and that's what helps you stick with it. It's one of the reasons we tell people to pay off your debts, smallest to largest by balance, is to feel those quick wins and that progress, and you guys did that. Well done. Y'all are awesome.
That was kind of the nice thing when we started, is we had, several credit cards, $1,500, $2,000. Our mattress was $1,200. Phones. We paid all that stuff off very quickly, and at least for me, it gave me a lot of motivation.
Yes.
And then we got to the student loans, which was $20,000 or $30,000, and it's, when you get to those big numbers, it's almost like we're never going to get done, and then you did it. So
right. All of a sudden, awesome. There you are.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow, that's amazing. Very, very cool. So obviously, Mom was cheering you on. Outside of the two of you, who else were your cheerleaders?
I'd say kind of everybody kind of was secretly cheering us on, but I don't know if it was, I would say it was sincere, but I think they kind of thought we were goofballs for doing this until the end. And then now, we're getting friends and family and random people that we've never even met asking us for advice, like, how do you do it?
That's
and,
right.
I posted a thing on Facebook and I had several people message me like, wow, that's awesome. And what kind of advice do you have? And I want to also get debt free. And for me, it was kind of cool to see that, just because when we first started, we obviously had a close family that were cheering us on, but it was friends and acquaintances and that kind of stuff that kind of just, thought it was cool, but they're like, oh yeah, we tried that several times and it didn't work. And
that's good for you, but it didn't work for
exactly.
me.
Good luck.
All
and,
that crap. Yeah.
Good luck and whatever. So
they always have an opinion, but it's this passive aggressive answer. Yeah.
Right.
Wow, way to go, guys! Excellent job. How's it feel now that you're free?
It's great.
It doesn't feel real yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we made our last payment in June. Yeah. So. Doesn't feel real totally yet because we're still working on our emergency fund. So I feel like once that's done, it'll really feel real. Like, look at all this money and we can start investing and doing all that stuff. So
Justin already sees the margin in the budget. He knows. It's real.
He knows
real.
the numbers.
That's huge. That's huge. Well done. He's got a spreadsheet for it too, if you didn't know. But, full software package he wrote, actually. But, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Well done, guys. We got a copy of the legacy journey for you, because that's the next chapter in your story to continue changing your entire legacy. And of course, a copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to give to somebody who's asking you about this, and you go, this is how you do it. These are the 7 baby steps right here in the Total Money Makeover. So very cool. So congratulations. We're so proud of y'all. Y'all are heroes. Well done. Start off your life right. Justin and Kelsey from Kenosha, Wisconsin. They paid off $146,000 in 26 months, making $125 to $146. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt free!
Yeah! Well done, you guys. Well done. Well, we get a lot of people in their 50s and 60s doing this, but I think we can all say that when we see a young couple getting married, there's so much runway in front of them, so much future in front of them, all the stuff they're going to be able to do. That's inspiring.
That's right. Sure is. Yeah, that's amazing.
Very cool. So for those of you that think all millennials are deadbeats, you're wrong. We get to see the bright stars of the millennial generation. They show up on the debt-free stage every day. This is The Ramsey Show. Christy Wright, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Her new book is Take Back Your Time, the guilt-free guide to life balance. If you feel busy or overwhelmed or never have enough time to do the things you want to do, doesn't have to be that way. At the Take Back Your Time event on Thursday, September the 16th, you're going to learn how to take back your time the guilt-free way. And Christy and I will be talking to you, and you'll walk away knowing what balance really looks like. Passes start at just $20, and with your event pass, you'll also get over $60 in free bonus items, including a copy of the new book, Take Back Your Time. You can join us in Nashville for the event and a special book signing with Christy, or you can join via the live stream. Either way, you guys can feel balanced even in your busy life. So text TIME to 33789. We'll get you signed up for all that. TIME to 33789. Charles is with us in Austin, Texas. Hi, Charles. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I'm debt-free. I have about $3 million, and I'm curious if that's enough to comfortably retire.
Well, it should be. It's a lot of money. Well done.
Thank you.
How old are you?
58.
Okay. Well, we have to define comfortably, and we have to define what you're going to do with this money, because obviously you're not stupid, or you wouldn't have ended up with $3 million. But if you suddenly grew stupid, you could get rid of the $3 million real quickly and not retire, right?
Correct.
So, if you had it reasonably invested and lived on that income, obviously you could retire. So if it were me, I would have put that in good growth stock mutual funds, making 11 or 12%, and lived off of about 10 or less, which means I would have somewhere around $250,000, $300,000 a year to live on. I think I could struggle through. And the money would never, and the principal would never deplete substantially during that time, and I could do that in perpetuation. If you can do that, then you're going to be just fine. If you want to put it in CDs and make 2%, well, you're going to have to live on very little while your $3 million sits there and deteriorates in its purchasing power.
Right. I put about $2 million into the market. And then I kept like $1 million off to the side just in case everything goes to heck and back. I can either, add to it or, leave that towards, other investments, real estate, because that's how I made my money, was real estate.
I'd probably put it in real estate then.
Okay.
Instead of sidelining $1 million. Because let's just say $1 million makes 10%. That's $100,000 a year you're losing sidelining it.
Right.
So I wouldn't want to sideline $100,000. I'll sideline some of it, but I feel like if one of the things goes really badly, I think the other one's probably going to be okay. And generally speaking, I would say real estate is a less risky investment overall. But you're a real estate guy. Would you agree with that, Charles?
Yeah, I absolutely would. But it's also it takes a lot of your time and a lot of your effort.
Yes,
and that's
extra hassle factor.
I just exited.
Yeah.
Yes. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
I owned. I've done flips. I've done. I sold an apartment building. That's where my main thing came in.
Wow, good for you. But if you were managing it yourself, it was a super high hassle. But if you outsourced the management or hired somebody to manage it for you under your direction, either one, you'd be fine. So it all comes down to, the answer to your question is, can I retire on $3 million? Yes, if you invest it and live off of what the investment creates without touching the $3 million, you're ready.
Okay.
So,
okay.
And great job.
So
what do you need a year to live on?
Thank you. We've been living the whole time on like 50 to 60.
Okay.
The entire time while building this.
Well, $100,000 is, what is that? Is that 3% on $3 million?
Yeah.
Yeah. So surely to God, son, you can do that.
Yeah, as long as everything doesn't come crashing down. I'm not, I haven't been in the market a long time. I've never...
If everything comes crashing down to the point that you're only making 3% on your investments, we got bigger problems than $3 million are going to solve.
True. Well, I've got 2 kids, though, too, that I got to still put through college and pay for weddings and all that kind of thing. So that's kind of my, intrepidation of.
Unless you're dropping $1 million on that stuff, that doesn't even matter.
Okay.
I mean, what are you going to spend on all that? You should be able to. Again, you should make this money create 8 or 10%, and you got a $300,000 a year income to do something with. If you live out of 100 and spend the rest of it on your kids, you're still going to be okay.
Yeah, I think you just need to plan for it. It feels like I hear a lot of unknowns in your voice, and there's a couple unknowns, like whatever you decide to spend on these weddings or college. Just put a number to it. Put it on paper, talk to your kids about it, whatever that plan looks like. And then all the other unknowns of like if the market crashes and all that, that's just fear. That's just, we could sit here and run what if scenarios all day, but we're going to go based on facts. And the fact is you've got $3 million, which is enough to live on and pay for weddings and colleges. And you just stand on that. You stand on the truth of those numbers, make a plan for the numbers, and then let that give you the confidence that you need versus running these doomsday scenarios, because you're in a great position.
So, wait a minute. I got to stay with this a second because this is okay. How old are you?
58.
You told me that. Okay. So you did real estate deals for how many years?
Since I bought my first house when I was 22.
Okay.
And
so
so
we're about the same age and about the same deal. Okay. Except I went broke in between. But but the point is. If the point is, you need to get some real estate stuff going, because you have a much higher comfort zone, comfort level with real estate than you do the stock market, because you know it. You got 40 years worth of knowing, and you know it inside and out. You're not going to fret if you've got some of this money invested in real estate, and you need to pick some real estate that's not as high hassle factor. The highest hassle factor in the world is a freaking apartment complex. Buy something where they just send you checks. It's commercial real estate. I've got a couple of retail centers, and I've got a couple of office buildings, and they bring me almost no drama. I got 5 houses that bring me more drama than all the other freaking $100 million worth of stuff put together, So you can go get some low drama real estate, and that's going to let you calm down.
That's a really good insight. That's a really good point.
Because
he knows that. He's done it for 40 years.
The reason he's fretting is he moved everything from what he knows to something he doesn't know.
Yeah, no, that's a really good insight. That's good.
Jesus is with us in Philadelphia. Hi, Jesus. What's up?
Hi, Dave. I just wanted to start off with saying it's an honor to finally speak to you. I've been listening to you since I was in 7th grade.
Wow.
And
are you in 8th grade?
I actually just graduated college last week with no student loans.
Congratulations.
Very cool, dude. Wow, I'm honored. What's your degree in?
Business, and I work in accounting.
Cool. I'm a little short on time. What's your question?
Alrighty. So basically, I just moved from Miami to Philadelphia for a job opportunity last week, and I currently have $10,000 in credit card debt, and I'm trying to get out of debt, invest in my future, and be financially free, and I don't know where to start.
You've been listening since 7th grade, and you don't know where to start?
Yes, I know, and I made a dumb decision.
Dave, you need to do a better job.
$10,000.
I suck.
No.
Christy just said it. I'm just
Dave, you are obviously not being very clear with the baby steps.
No, you are definitely. I stopped listening to you last year, and look what happened.
That's what it is.
There it is. That's it.
You fell off the wagon, Jesus.
So, all right, I'm going to send you a graduation gift, and now that you're a grown-up, you're going to read the Total Money Makeover with a different set of eyes, and it's going to show you the baby steps again, Jesus, and then you're going to remember, I remember when I was a kid, he used to tell people to do that stuff. So, you're going to know exactly what to do. It's going to come back to you quickly. The Total Money Makeover has shown 8 million people how to work this clear path, and now Jesus is on the list. So, hold on. We'll give you a graduation gift. Maybe the book will do a better job than I did, Christy. Shut up, Christy. Just shut up.
That's how we're going to wrap up this hour, is with a strong shut up.
This is the Ramsey Show. Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show. Where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Christy Wright, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. #1 best-selling author and author of the brand new book that is on pre-sale right now. We launch it in early September, but you can get a copy now. Take Back Your Time, The Guilt-Free Guide to Life Balance. Actually, I should say you can buy a copy now. We'll ship it to you in September when the actual pub date is. But why would you do that? Why would you buy a $20 book a month early or, I don't know, 3 weeks early? Because we're going to give you $100+ worth of extra goodies for buying it. The ebook, the audio book, a ticket to a live stream, all kinds of good stuff. So check it all out at RamseySolutions.com. Sammy is with us. Sammy's in Fort Worth, Texas. Hi, Sammy. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, and I appreciate you taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Well, I am a recent widow. My husband passed away in March. I'm 71. We owned our own home. I have $36,000 in debt. I have $30,000 in the bank, and I'm debating about whether to pay part of my debt off or hang on to the $30,000 because it gives me so much of a security to know it's there. I can make the payments that I have, and I am paying additional to get things paid off, but I just am wanting to make sure I'm making the proper decisions. It makes me nervous to think about not having that money there if I needed it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You've been through a hard time. Yeah. How long were you guys married?
53 years.
My goodness.
The last 6 months he spent in a memory care. And of course, a lot of our money went to that.
Sure. So
but we had it. I'm thankful we had it to do it.
Yeah, but this is what's left of your nest egg?
Yes, sir.
You don't have any money?
And we did.
You don't have any money other than what you told me?
No. He didn't have life insurance. He spent a lot of time in the military and had a really nice life insurance. They kept saying you can roll this over when you retire, but when he retired, it was so expensive we couldn't afford it. They didn't tell us that part.
Yeah. So what is your income based on? Social Security and what else?
I get his Social Security. I get money from his VA, and I get a little bit from his retirement. At the beginning of next year, my income will go from $3,400 a month to $38,000, and then the following year it should go to $4,000, providing our government is still able to pay it.
Well,
I do have a small part-time job, but it's not a high-paying job. I'm using that money to go ahead and pay off on my other stuff I've only got 2 other bills, and I'm trying to get those paid off.
Yeah. Well, #1, I don't think you need to worry about getting the money from the government. It will come. One of the least politically palatable things, one of the things that piss people off the most is not taking care of widows of veterans. Okay, so that would be like a good way to never get elected again. So you're not going to have that problem. That money's going to come. So basically, we got $3,500 to $4,000 a month to live on, and that's your game plan for retirement. And what is the $36,000 in debt on?
I have a car that we bought a couple of years before he passed away. We would have had our other one paid off, but he was having trouble getting in and out of our pickup. And I was expecting to have him for a much longer time, and we bought a van that we could fix a ramp and put a wheelchair in, with the understanding that we thought he would be here for a long time, and then that didn't happen. And I'm a little bit emotionally attached to it, but that doesn't mean I couldn't sell it.
What do you owe on the van? What do you owe on the van?
I owe $29,000.
Is it wheelchair equipped now, or it was just you wanted to do that?
No, it's not. It's not. We just were looking forward to that possibility.
Do you have another vehicle in the driveway?
No.
That's your only vehicle?
That's the only one. And I do have to drive 4.5 hours to see a son and another son in New York who's in the military.
Mm-hmm.
So I need a good vehicle. I don't have to have...
You can rent a car to do that.
Oh, okay. Can you rent cars today?
Yeah, well, they're hard. It can be done, though.
That's what I've heard.
But you don't need to keep a $29,000 car for 2 trips a year when your income is only $36,000, $34,000,
right.
$35,000. So this car's got to go, hon.
Okay.
I know you're emotionally attached to it, but it's killing you.
Yeah.
If you didn't have the weight of that, your picture changes pretty dramatically. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yes, and I can make it on what I have. I'm just not making a lot of headway.
But here's the thing.
You don't have much wiggle room, hon.
And the other thing, Sammy, that savings that you have that gives you that peace of mind, you'll be able to keep some of that if you get rid of this car. If you don't get rid of the car, then that savings is going to have to go to your debt. So look at this not at what you're giving up, but what you're getting to keep. You're getting to keep a lot of your savings because you're going to change your plan with your vehicle.
Are you a member of a good church?
Yes.
Okay. Get some of the guys in the church to help you find a really quality $5,000, $7,000 car. Pay cash for it.
Oh, okay.
Pay cash for it and get rid of the van. And
okay, I do. My van is worth more than I owe on it, at least.
Good.
Or at least it was a month ago.
Good. Okay. And yeah, and you knew this deep down in your heart. It just required me to be the mean guy and say it out loud, right?
Yeah, I was just having a hard time with it.
I understand, darling.
Of course you are. Of course you are. You just lost your husband. Of course you are.
And I hope you don't think I'm heartless. I'm actually trying to help you.
No,
okay?
I understand.
Okay.
This is still really new too, Sammy. I mean, we're talking a few months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been harder. I mean, I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
It's just been harder than I thought it would be. Yeah. Because I've been expecting it. But
well, I mean,
anyway.
There's that 53 years worth of getting used to somebody. I mean, my gosh.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I tell you, it is hard, and it's gotten harder recently than it. I don't know how to explain that, but it's going to get easier.
You kind of had to take care of business for a little while. Once you kind of got all the business taken care of, now you can kind of relax. Oh, wait a minute, there's the grief.
The reality sets in. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, kiddo.
And bless his heart, because of the disease he had and the medications he was on, we had a pretty good income, but he didn't understand saving. Part of his deal was it caused him to go spend money, although he didn't get us in debt in a point that we couldn't handle it. It was just that it was difficult.
Yeah. Tell you what we're going to do. I want you to go through Financial Peace University. That'll put some community in your life, some people around you. We're going to walk you through a detailed class on exactly how to handle money. I think you're pretty sharp. I think you can probably pull it off by yourself, but I want to make sure we're there with you and walking with you while you go through this time, okay? So you hang on. Laura's going to pick up, and we'll get you signed up for Financial Peace as our gift to you. We're going to take care of widows always here. And you call me back anytime you need help, honey. You're going to make it. This is The Ramsey Show.
Stop paying your overpriced wireless provider and switch to Pure Talk. They use the same network as the larger providers for much less. For just $30 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data with no contract. The average family saves over $70 a month by switching to Pure Talk. Just go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, simply smarter wireless.
Snuck up on you, but it's August. Matter of fact, it's the middle of August, and we've noticed that once everyone gets done with the distractions of summer, the kids are back in school, things kind of kick into high gear. You got some goals you want to reach. You notice the Christmas is in December this year, and I got to get ready for it. And fall is the second new year in a sense. To help you get back on track, we're running great and new deals every week at RamseySolutions.com, starting at only $10, and today only our team is marking down the number one bundle, the starter special, to only $39.99. That's the lowest we've ever done on the starter special. If you're brand new, it's a good place to get in. It's 76% off. You get all the books, tools, and a new money assessment to help you get back on track. Check it all out at RamseySolutions.com. We've also got Ken Coleman's book there, From Paycheck to Purpose, on pre-sale. We've got Christy Wright's new book on pre-sale, Take Back Your Time, the Guilt-Free Guide to Life Balance. And we've got a $500 cash giveaway every week this month with a grand prize of $3,000 cash at the end of August. Of course, no purchase necessary. Of course, you must be 18 or older to win. Check it all out at RamseySolutions.com, or you can text CASH to 33789. Text CASH to 33789. Mark's in Atlanta. Hi, Mark. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
How are you?
Great, man. What's up?
I'm 57, and I feel like I'm very close to being able to retire. And I've got all the kids. There's college and all the other stuff. House is paid off. All that good thing. All those good things. The thing that I'm interested in between now and the time I'm 65 is health insurance. And I've got COBRA I can take for 18 months if I leave. And then I've looked at the sharing programs like a MetaShare, but I was wanting to see if there was anything y'all knew of that I've missed that may be a good answer.
Well, it depends on the type of coverage and what coverage you're wanting. Those are the two things I would have looked at, too. And also, I would just look at an independent insurance agent and let them shop and see what kind of health insurance they could get for you. Blue Cross Blue Shield or who else is out there writing in Georgia that's doing a good job just as an individual policy. They're not, if you take a high deductible HSA, they're usually not outlandish.
Right.
Have you saved some money? I mean, if you're retiring awfully young, so I'm guessing you built some nest egg.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we have. My wife and I have been pretty diligent about it. So,
what's your nest egg?
It's right at 2.
2 what? Million?
2 million. Yes.
Way to go!
Well, thank you very much. We've been blessed.
You're a hero, man. Did you start from nothing?
Pretty much.
Yes, you inherit this money?
No, sir.
So you're an everyday millionaire. You did it yourself. Way to go, dude. Right. Excellent job. Well, I think you're going to be fine. It's just a frustration. You got the money to buy it. You got the money to buy the health insurance, and you just got to shop around. And between the sharing programs, you can look at those. You can look at your COBRA. You probably can beat COBRA in the open market, depending on how unreasonable your coverage is from your old company.
Right.
And yeah, I think if you just go to Dave or go to Ramsey Solutions and click on the health insurance ELPs, the Ramsey Trusted ELPs, get an independent insurance agent that'll shop the different companies and find you the best options out there and put them in front of you. But I think a high deductible. I mean, you could afford a ridiculous deductible, but that's only necessary if you got a deal for it. But I mean, if you pick up a five or even a $7,000 HSA deductible, that's no big problem at all.
Okay.
You can handle those problems. It's the $150,000 bypass that you don't want to self-insure through, right?
That's right. Amen.
So.
Amen.
Yeah, that's the thing. Hey, thank you, man. Congratulations. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, well done.
Health insurance is scary, and when you get 65, Medicare will make you wish you'd earned enough money to not have to depend on the government. It's so freaking confusing, and it is an absolute nightmare, and the coverages, oh my gosh, it's a problem. So this whole health insurance issue is a discussion all the time. Michael is with us in Lincoln, Nebraska. Hey, Michael, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Hey, so we put an offer in on a house, and it was contingent upon us getting the financing And we were, I don't know, I guess we thought that our house would sell in like 24 hours, and we thought we were going to get, at least asking price, or that it would maybe even escalate. And then several weeks later, we're getting ready to get to the closing date here, and we haven't even had one offer on our house. I mean, we've had several price reductions. We just can't quite figure out what's going on. We put some money down as an earnest deposit, and I guess we're just completely lost on what do we do from here, because they're recommending a bridge loan, and I really don't want to do a bridge loan. And they're telling us, you're going to get approved. And it's like, well, I don't necessarily want to be approved because it's going to be way more than what we were expecting to pay. So I guess we're just kind of looking for some advice on where we go from here. We wish we would have sold the house before. I know I've listened to your shows, and that's what you would have recommended. I didn't hear that piece of the advice. But so anyway, we're just kind of wondering what we do from here, and how you would process this situation.
Have you talked to your agent about why it's not selling? I know you said you've done some price reductions, but I mean, have they shot you straight of what they think it is?
For like the first 2 weeks, we didn't really get a lot of feedback. We're hearing maybe it's the neighborhood. I mean, it's not the nicest part. We haven't really gotten like tremendous feedback. With the neighborhood is really pretty much the only thing we've heard, or it's been people who are just kind of coming in, kicking tires, not serious about looking, first time home buyers. I mean, we've had a decent amount of traffic. We've had several home showings. A couple of them were busts, but really we've just heard maybe the neighborhood. We've looked at the comp several times. We think it's priced accordingly, and we've had a 7% reduction. And even after all the reductions, we're still not getting any feedback.
Is it ugly? Let's have a moment. We're trying to shoot you straight here, Michael. What is it?
Right. I mean, no, I don't think so. Everyone who's looked at it, and I've tried to get tons of third party advice. I'm asking people, I'm like, please, just shoot me straight. I agree with you. I'm like, we repainted inside when we lived there. We repainted the outside. I mean,
what's it on the market for?
It was on the market for $225 initially.
And now it's on the market for what?
$209.5.
Okay. All right. And the other house you paid what for? What'd you pay for it?
We offered $475.
And it's not contingent upon the sale of your home?
No.
So you have given someone your word to buy that house?
Yeah.
So you'll be closing.
That's where I'm at.
You'll be closing on that house because you gave your word.
Right. That's the only thing I was kind of thinking was it is contingent upon financing. But you're right.
If your financing doesn't go through, then if they turn you down for the loan due to the fact, how much do you owe on your current home?
$94.
Okay. So the bridge loan would be for your equity. That's what they're discussing then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you have any money for the down payment if you don't sell your house or take out a bridge loan?
Our emergency fund.
Yeah. Then you can close on the deals legally. So that's probably what you're going to end up doing. Okay. Ask your real estate agent. I think you may need a new real estate agent. Get with our endorsed local providers and ask them what the average days on the market is and what the average price range is. I got a feeling it's a $195 sale price. I think you're priced high. When you think a 7% price reduction is a big price reduction, it's not a big price reduction. So I think you're about to sell this house cheap because you did a deal poorly. That's what it sounds like to me. This is The Ramsey Show. Christy Wright, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, and author of the new book on pre-sale, Take Back Your Time, The Guilt-Free Guide to Life Balance, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Jay and LaToya are on the line in Fort Worth, Texas. Says on my screen, you guys are debt-free. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dave.
Way to go, guys. How much have you paid off?
We paid off $194,000 in about 4 years.
All right.
Good job. That's amazing.
What was your range of income during that time?
When we started, we were about at 120, and when we ended, we're above 450.
What?
Good
Do tell.
Gosh.
Please.
What in the world happened? What do you guys do?
We're going to need an explanation there. Go on.
All right. I'm an IT engineer working in cloud, and
I'm an accountant, and I have my own firm.
Okay. So both of your careers just exploded.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, both of you are making a couple of hundred, man. That's pretty incredible.
Yes.
Wow.
We hustled and bustled and did everything that we could to, get our income up, and it worked. You just got to stay on it and keep grinding.
Well, you picked two good career fields, and you believed, you went and got educated, and you went and did it, man. I'm so proud of y'all.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
What kind of debt was the $194,000?
Oh, it was everything. We had student loans, credit cards, hospital bills, car loans, probably owed the stray cat and dog, too.
I love it. How long y'all been married?
17 years. We just celebrated in June.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very cool.
That's awesome.
So what happened 4 years ago after 13 years of marriage? Something like, got to change.
Yeah, well, we discovered you a long time ago, and we weren't gazelle intense, as you say. We were just playing around, fiddling around, still getting in and out of debt and credit cards. And then once we started making, the income, we were at 120, and I was thinking, we make way too much money to have this debt just lying around like a pet. So let's just get rid of it. We got intense, and I just couldn't stand another payment of anything. I was just like sick of it. I see a bill in the mail. I hated going to the mailbox. I was like, well, I don't want to take this trip in hot Texas weather to the mailbox to get a bill and owe somebody. I was sick of it.
Yeah. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. You had to get mad to do something about it. No one does anything about it when they're just okay with it. You had to get mad about it.
Yeah, you got to be upset.
That's definitely true.
So, LaToya, Jay got sick of walking to the mailbox. What did you say?
For me, it was, me being a number cruncher. I just got tired of seeing negatives.
I mean, that's valid. That's valid.
I'm like, we need to get in the black.
No more parentheses.
Yes.
I like it.
That's good. The numbers don't lie.
That's a good motto right there.
True.
No more walks to the mailbox, no more parentheses. I'm done with this. Oh, man. This is great. You guys are fun. This is cool. Okay, so you knew about our stuff, but then you kind of had this disgust well up, and you said we're sick and tired, and then what did you do from there?
From there, the first thing I did was we said we're not getting any more car loans. Mm-hmm. We're not signing up for any more credit cards. And we just made a list from smallest to biggest, and we just started knocking things out every month. We would just pay something. I would take any gig that I could get in IT. I would get any side job that I could, and we just kept paying and kept paying and kept paying, and eventually we were like, we're all done.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. And so you just plugged back into us how? Just the podcast or the radio station or what?
No, I was always an avid listener, listened almost every day, if not every other day, and I kept hearing other people over the years, I'm debt free, I'm debt free. I was like, one day that's going to be me, but I wasn't mad enough until we got mad, and then we made it happen.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, congratulations. Who was your biggest cheerleaders outside the two of you?
Our kids.
Our girls.
Okay.
Because they know you. They're like, we want to be on the debt-free screen, too.
All right. I'm glad they're here. That's good. Very good. Well, that proves that you changed your whole family tree with this. And
that's right.
Yes, that was definitely the goal. We wanted to change the family tree for sure when it came to finances.
It'd be a real dadgum shame to be making $450,000 a year and be broke.
Yeah.
It would be a mess. I'm so glad you guys got control of this. So very well done. All right, so if somebody's listening, what do you tell them the key to getting out of debt is?
The number one key is to get organized, take control of your money, and put a name on every single dollar where it's going. Know where your money is going. Don't just think it's going to happen. You have to get a purpose about your money and just be intentional about it.
Yeah, it's good, that budget. Telling it where to go instead of wondering where it went. It makes all the difference.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Proud of you guys. You're heroes. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Very well done. We've got a copy of The Legacy Journey for you. That's definitely the next chapter in your story. You've changed your life. You've changed your family tree. I bet if you look back down your family tree, it's nobody making $450 and nobody debt free, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
None that I can think of.
Yeah. Well, that would be true in most of our family trees, my son. I'm just saying. Wow. That's very impressive. Very impressive, you guys. Very well done. We've also got a copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to give away and help somebody get started. Maybe they can get a clue and get the inspiration off of you guys because you're inspiring for sure. Absolute rock stars. Well done, well done. Jay and LaToya, Fort Worth, Texas, $194,000 paid off in 4 years, making $120 to $450. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Wow! It's America's next generation of millionaires right there.
That is so cool.
Baby steps millionaires.
You know what I love that they said? He was talking about how they had listened for years and they were just kind of playing around. And I just thought, man, how often we hear people, there's a moment where they decide to get serious, get gazelle intense, and do something different. And that's what leads to the debt-free scream. We've never had a single person that I know of call in and say, yeah, I was just playing around and then one day I was debt-free. No, that doesn't happen. When you're just playing around, when you're just listening, when you're just being passive, when you're doing the same things, you're going to get the same results. It takes you doing something different, getting serious for a short period of time. That's what leads to the change. That's what leads to the outcome. That's what leads to the debt-free scream. I just love how he acknowledged that there was a shift. He'd been listening, but he was just playing around. When that shift happened, that's when he got the results he wanted.
It's very true. And the weird thing is, it doesn't have to be a crisis.
No.
It doesn't have to be an external force. I lost my job and that woke me up. Or I went through a divorce and that woke me up.
It might, but it might not.
I was in a car wreck and that woke me up. Well, in his case, they just woke up.
He just wanted to not walk to the mailbox anymore.
I make too much money to be broke. Yeah. I suddenly became disgusted. There was a suddenly moment there. But you're exactly right. You can wander into debt, but you cannot wander out. Mm-hmm. No one gets out without intentional movement. Yeah. It's just, it has to be a series of intentional acts. And here's the thing. The people that you're listening to, those of you listening to this show, and there's tens of millions of you, that you're listening to that are successful with this, they don't have to make $450,000 a year. That's highly unusual. I mean, almost all of them increase their income because they increase their workload for a short period of time. Because what they've discovered is that you do not get out of debt doing the same crap you've been doing. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, that's the definition of insanity. You get out of debt by chopping your lifestyle. You get out of debt faster by completely eliminating your life. Beans and rice, rice and beans, scorched earth. You don't need to see the inside of a dadgum restaurant unless you're working there. You don't need to talk to me about a vacation. You're freaking broke.
You say all the time, it's 20% head knowledge, 80% behavior. If you're just listening to this show and you've been listening to it for a decade and you're not getting different results, you've got to change your behavior. You can't just listen to it. You have to do it.
It's not automatic. You have to you have to impose your will on this situation. And the more wired up and fired up you are, the deeper you will sacrifice and the faster you get out. Stop your dadgum whining. This is The Ramsey Show. Christy Wright, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Author of the new book, Take Back Your Time, The Guilt-Free Guide to Life Balance. It will come out in 3 weeks on September the 14th. On September the 16th, pre-order ends, by the way, on September 13th, so you only have 3 weeks to get the bargain. The bargain is buy the book for $20, and it includes $100 worth of add-ons that are there, all kinds of good stuff with it. And on September 16th, she and I will be doing a Take Back Your Time Guilt-Free live event, a live stream. With your pass, you get $60 worth of free bonus items, which includes a copy of the book, or you can join us in Nashville for the actual event and a special book signing, or you can join us via live stream, however you want to do it. Get your pass at RamseySolutions.com/time, or you can buy the book there and get all kinds of goodies with it. And so there are lots of different ways to get at this subject and get your balanced life moving, and Christy can give you the instructions to do that.
And come in Nashville. We're going to do a book signing. It's going to be fun. Fun fact, September 16th, when we're doing this live event, Dave, I don't even know if you know this, but that is Mary Grace's second birthday. So it is just real life balance, people. We are managing all the things together, and it's just going to be, we're going to talk about real life. Like we have a lot of things going on, and we're going to talk about how to manage that and keep it all going. So
how you can do a live event on your daughter's birthday on a book on life balance.
Hey, this is real. I
can't wait to hear this.
This is real life, people.
I can't wait to hear your explanation for this.
Real life. And if you come in Nashville, I'm going to sign your book, so that'll be fun. So if you're in Nashville or driving distance, come hang out with me and Dave. That'll be fun. It'll be fun to be here in person if you're around.
So you're pretty sure Mary Grace is not going to need counseling as a result of...
I don't know. She may make an appearance. Oh,
I can imagine this happening. Too much cuteness in the building is the problem then.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Rebecca is with us in Atlanta. Hi, Rebecca. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and Christy. It's an honor to speak to you both. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's going on?
Well, I first have to tell you, we do Dave Ramsey so much in this house that my 8-year-old son got a Splinter pulled out this past weekend, and he yelled, "I'm Splinter free!"
Oh, my gosh.
That's awesome. That is so
awesome.
cool.
Our whole family had a good laugh. So my question
It is kind of similar. It's kind of similar. I mean, there's a little pain involved in the extraction, but when it's out, it feels better. Yeah.
Yes, very true. We are on the last jet snowball. It's our vehicle, and we have gotten the payoff letter for it. And my question is, my company awarded me 300 shares of an equity award in stock. And when we found you and got that gazelle intensity going, we said, okay, we've learned that it's time to let this go and cash it in. And I guess my more concentrated question is, when do we sell that? Because we've been watching the stock prices, and the loan on the vehicle is about a little over $29,000. If we let the stock price go up to about $310, it covers the whole shebang. If we sell it today, we come out of pocket about $6,500 to pay off this car.
Well, here's the principle, and the principle is that I don't buy stock, and the increase in value of the stock gets you out of debt. I've never told somebody to go buy stock, and as the stock goes up, it'll get you out of debt. You didn't do that, but it ends up putting you in exactly the same place. So if I woke up in your shoes, I would sell it today.
Okay.
Because there is no guarantee it's going up.
And the principle is get out of debt as fast as possible, regardless of what the variables at play are.
Yeah. So I don't buy stock and wait on it to go up to get you out of debt. That's not a method that we use.
But speak to the principle here, not just the idea of stock, but Dave, I would love for you to talk a little bit about the idea of waiting for some potential change that would enable me to get out of debt. Like sometimes we'll get this call of, well, I don't want to pay off my student loans because the government might bail me out. And the principle that's at play there is the problem, the thought process, the idea behind that of waiting for someone else that may or may not help me and putting your eggs in that basket. And how dangerous that is.
It's almost putting what psychologists call the locus of control outside of yourself.
Yeah.
You're saying, I'm waiting on something else to fix this where it is my job.
Yeah.
Now, she's not really trying to avoid.
No, but it made me think of that.
It is that kind of locus of control question, though, of there's something that happens, Rebecca, and all the rest of us, too. There's something that happens inside of us so powerful when we decide deep down in the old gut, that I'm the problem, I'm the solution, I'm going to take action, I'm going to fix this, I'm in control of my destiny. None of us are naive enough to think we're 100% in control of our destiny. But when you say, the only way this gets fixed is if I freaking fix it.
Yeah.
This being my life.
Yeah.
The only way my life gets fixed is for me to take the bull by the proverbial horns and just go, we are going to do this. I'm going to impose my will, just sheer action, a whole series of actions, and not all of them necessarily have to make perfect mathematical sense. The value of taking action supersedes the value of the math game.
Yes. And I think that's it. I think that's the thing that so many people miss, because whether it's a scenario like this one or a scenario like I'm not going to pay off my student loans because of XYZ, what it does is it gives us some kind of shallow justification for not doing anything right now. Well, I got to wait because this might happen. I got to wait. And what's interesting is then the underlying effect is we feel like victims. Well, I mean, the stock hasn't gone up, or well, the government hasn't bailed me out. No. We're telling you, regardless of what anyone else is doing, you're going to control what you can control, and you're going to get out of debt as fast as you can.
Become a force of nature and knock a bunch of crap down. And if you go out there and just become a whirling dervish, you become a Tasmanian devil, and you're just like, wah! You don't have time, and you don't even stop to think about something like she's talking about. And again, Rebecca's asking a valid question.
Totally.
It's not a shallow question. It's a valid question. But the problem is the math of what we just told her to do doesn't work.
Yes.
Assuming that stock goes up and bails her out, she didn't have to do it.
Well,
she could have waited. She might have waited 6 weeks, and the whole thing would have taken care of itself. And yet we're telling her to take, $6,000, but we don't know what $6,000 is going to happen with a single stock in a company. It is not predictable.
Well, and
there's these things out there called pandemics and crap. You cannot predict what's going to happen. And so what you can predict is what you can do. And when you start just throwing stuff and trashing and just tearing up, just causing a holy ruckus in your life, stuff starts getting out of your way.
Yeah.
Because it's stuff, things get scared. And they're like, that one's coming through.
Yes.
I ain't getting in the way. And it's like you create this movement in the spirit. You create this movement in your life that supersedes mathematics.
Yeah.
It's just momentum is what it is.
Where the freedom that you're going to experience and the control that you're going to maintain is worth more to you than this potential gain of $6,000 in this scenario, or whatever it is in some other scenario. It's the freedom and the control that you have control over your destiny. You have control over your outcome, the time in which you become debt-free, and so on. That has a value to it that often we dismiss in the name of waiting for the mathematics. But that's why I think it's so important to explain this, because if you're going to tell someone to do something that someone's going to be tweeting you right now, well, the math, if you do that, listen, if you did the math, we wouldn't be getting ourselves in this situation to begin with.
Kiss my math.
I think explanation is needed, and for people to get the why behind the principle of you taking control right now today.
We don't love Rudy or Rocky because they had it all figured out and their technique was perfect. We love them because their heart was so big and they busted up into impossible odds with a sheer force of nature and took it down. And that's why we all stand up and cheer at those movies. And that's what I'm asking you to become, is that person. It changes everything. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Kelly, associate producer for The Ramsey Show. This episode is over, but if you heard about an event, product, or service and didn't have a chance to write it down, don't worry. We list everything you've heard about during this episode in the podcast show notes section or head to theramseyshow.com. Thanks for listening.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author Christy Wright is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225 as we take your calls about your life and your money. Emmanuel is in Bend, Oregon. Hi, Emmanuel. How are you?
Great, Mr. Ramsey. How are you today?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So, I'm 22 years old, born in the U.S., married, thankfully making about $80,000 a year, including bonuses. The question, I am on Baby Steps 3B, by the way, debt-free officially as of 2 weeks ago.
Awesome.
Well done.
As well as my father, I was a co-signer for his truck loans, and I got him to sell it after him watching me be debt-free. And that's what I'm calling about. My father's 44 years old. He owns a house along with my mother. He makes about $50,000 a year, debt-free now. Has no retirement because he's undocumented, and not sure what to do because, morally speaking, I've been trying to get him legalized and do everything the right way, but he did sacrifice his life and his home to give me a better life here. So I kind of would like to return the favor and help him out, not give him any money, but at least put him in the right direction.
Okay. I don't know much about immigration law. Is there a path for him to go from undocumented to becoming a citizen?
As far as we know, we'd have to petition and get people's signatures and do all that jazz and then get a court case, and then he would have to go back to Mexico for about 15 years if it doesn't go through. But if it does go through, then it's a done deal. But for right now, with all the COVID stuff going on, it's like on freeze.
Mm-hmm. Okay, he'd have to go back to Mexico for how long?
15 years, according to our lawyer, if it doesn't go through.
15 years?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And your mom is where?
Here. They've both been here for over 22 years.
And she's undocumented as well?
Yes, sir, unfortunately.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know exactly how to tell you what to do. It seems like once you get the other side of COVID, I mean, there's obviously, it's been 20 years. Nothing's on fire here. But if you can find a path that is reasonable to for them to become citizens, I think that's going to be give them the most stable life because they're not having to quote unquote look over their shoulder all the time. Is that a fair thing?
Yeah, for sure. I was actually curious if, maybe just throwing money into a mutual fund or, something to keep the ball rolling and at least, put $800,000 a month in and maybe it multiplies over time.
Yeah, obviously he's not filing U.S. taxes, right?
Pretty sure he is. I mean, when I was a little kid, I remember going to income taxes, and several times they would pay. Several times. Not sure how that works out, but
I have heard that. I have heard of a lot of not a lot, but I've heard of people doing that. They pay taxes, but they're not yet American citizens, are not documented. What do your mom and dad think of this? Have you talked to them about it? I'm guessing because of the 15-year possibility, they're not real keen on the idea of attempting it, or what are they saying?
So I do have a younger brother. He's 11 years old. Actually, he's 12. and they would hate to do that and leave him behind here. I mean, this is a great land of opportunity.
Right.
They love this country. My father plans to stay here forever. My mother would like to retire back to Mexico. I haven't spoken to them about retirement necessarily. I would like to almost like surprise them and say, hey, Mom and Dad, I've done the research. I've spoken to even Dave Ramsey and Christy right here. And, how about this? I got you debt-free, so how about the next step? Baby step 4.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's 2 routes, it seems to me like, or some variation of those 2 routes. Route number 1 is that they're able to build wealth in their name safely, utilizing systems in the U.S. like the Roth IRA or the 401k or those kinds of things, because you've got a Social Security number, because you became legalized. Okay, that's route 1, and that has obvious risks associated and expenses associated with it that you guys have got to consider. I don't know how that stuff works. Okay, I'm not knowledgeable to it. That seems like the cleanest, most stable way, with the exception of the part where the thing could go sideways and you could have a real mess on your hands of 15 years or whatever. And I guess he could turn around and come back illegally again. I don't know why he would have to stay 15 years for real. I guess. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But I'm just thinking on the tactical side. Then the other way to do it, obviously, is less positive for them, but that is they build wealth in your name. And, you guys pool some money in the sense that you open some mutual funds that they put the money into, but they're in your name. And that way they're safe. They're not going to be confiscated in some kind of an action against them for being here illegally or something like that. I don't want them to lose assets that they build, right?
Right.
And as long as they're undocumented, I'm afraid they could lose the assets that they build if they're in their name. So I think it'd be wise to develop a strategy for you to double down on some of your wealth building, but a section of that being money they funded and is in your name. And I guess I would go that way. But that's not optimum. If I can get the risk lowered on the process to become legalized, that's going to be their best route.
Well, and Emmanuel, you referred to your attorney that's been, advising you on this. Make sure you have a great attorney to advise you, and they should be able to tell you all of the laws, all of the requirements, all the boxes you have to check, all the things you have to do to minimize. Now, it still won't be non-existent, but minimize that risk of it not going through and them having to, go back for 15 years. So just having someone in your corner that knows what are they looking for, what are the instances in which they approve it and the instances in which they don't, and then you guys just follow everything to the letter if you decide to pursue that, and then you're going to go through it with more peace of mind knowing you've done your homework, you've done your due diligence to follow all the processes, etc. So having someone in your corner that is more knowledgeable than Dave and I on that process is going to be huge.
Would be a low bar.
Yeah, well, that's valid. That's valid.
I don't know squat about this. Oh, man. This is The Ramsey Show.
What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings.
According to the United States Census Bureau, nearly 1 in 10 people relocated to a new city last year, and that was in 2020. That means this year there's a good chance you or someone you know is planning a move, a big move. Now, I know it feels like there are 1,000 unknowns if you're juggling when you're relocating, but you cannot lose focus of one of the most important personal and financial factors in your move. Of course, that's the house. Now, I always recommend you get a quality real estate agent like one of our high-octane, high-protein, endorsed local providers. They're Ramsey trusted, and they're there to help you find the right home in your new city. They're top-performing experts in their local market, and they've got years of experience helping folks just like you. So if you want one of our endorsed local providers, they're endorsed, they're local, and they will provide you with help. Go to RamseySolutions.com/agent, and you can talk with a Ramsey trusted agent about how they can help you with your relocation. RamseySolutions.com/agent. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com, a great American company with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, which is weird because it means even if you mismeasure, if you pick the wrong color, if you screw up, their guarantee covers you messing up. They'll remake your window blinds for free. It's an incredible offer, incredible place, incredible people, incredible selection. Free samples, free shipping, and new promos all the time. Always use the promo code Ramsey at Blinds.com.
Today's question comes from Ashley in Oklahoma. I'm an e-commerce seller, and I'm starting to make a very small profit each month, which I'm putting back into purchasing inventory and shipping supplies. At what point in a side hustle do you start taking profits out of your business? Well, if Ashley was here, I would love to ask some follow-up questions. Ideally, especially with a side gig, if you're starting small and you're getting scrappy, then you want to take profit out. You should have profit in there as soon as possible because we're starting on such a small scale. I don't know what upfront major expenses might have gone into this, but this is something where it makes me question if she's charging enough if she says I'm making a very small profit, and I can't think of what the big expenses up front would be. I guess I don't know. I have some follow-up questions.
Could be a small volume.
Yeah.
Might be selling a lot.
Yeah. And I'm just wondering, does she make the stuff that she's selling? Because that would then affect, the time and the profitability and that type of thing versus just marking up something that she's reselling on e-commerce. But the rule of thumb, back to the principle, the rule of thumb, especially with the side gig, I love helping people start small and grow slow and turn a profit quickly. And yes, some of that profit you'll put back into the business for inventory and equipment and more business growth, and some you'll take home as your income.
I'm always amazed when I'm something like this. I wonder if we're talking about $1,000 or $10,000.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So if we're talking about $10,000 and you call that a small profit, then you need to be taking some profit out and enjoying it. But if you're talking about the whole endeavor and you've been working on it for 4 months, has made $1,000, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What you do.
Yeah.
If you took it all out, you wouldn't have anything.
Right.
So you've got to get your volume up and get your or your prices up to get your profits up.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that's limiting your profits, so that you have and if you're making $10,000 a month, it doesn't matter then.
Right.
Of course, if you take it out.
Right.
But if you're making $10, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether you take it out or not. So you're not making you need to solve the not enough profit problem, then this solves the other issue.
Then where it goes. Right.
Yeah.
Right. We need to actually have something.
If you take half of very little, you got very little.
Yeah.
And if you got a whole bunch in there and you take a little, nobody will notice.
Right.
I mean, you won't notice. It won't throw off the business cycle of your stuff. So a lot is solved by increasing your pricing and your volume.
Yeah. Yeah. Figuring out what that profit margin is and getting it up. So, and that's a good rule of thumb for any of you guys in business. So many people I work with in business, side business, small business, doesn't matter. They don't know their profit margin. They don't know what they're actually making on the products and services that they're providing. And you've got to know your numbers, because if you don't know your numbers, you don't know what dials to turn. You don't know what to change. You don't know how to improve it. You've got to know what they actually are.
Well, the numbers are telling you what's working.
Yeah.
And what's not working. They talk to you.
Yeah.
If you listen.
And if you don't know what they are, you can't listen.
Dave is with us in San Antonio. Hi, Dave. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Christy. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
What's up?
All right. My wife wants to build a house, and I would love to do it for her. However, I'm a bit hesitant due to the cost, and I feel like we're in a great position. If we kind of stay put, we can really start building wealth. So I told her we've gotten the go-ahead from our financial advisor, but, I feel like if I can get the Dave Ramsey blessing to move forward, I might be able to kind of head that direction.
I'm so excited to listen to this call, Dave. Dave, answer Dave's question for him. I can't wait to hear this.
or at least, I'm not crazy for doing this.
You are crazy for letting Dave Ramsey or your financial advisor decide what happens in your life. What you need is principles in your life that you use by which you make good decisions for your life. Your financial advisor is not your mama. You don't need to ask his permission what to do with your freaking money. And the same with me. So you're looking for somebody to bail you out because you don't want to tell your wife no. And the two of you need to sit down together and decide what is best for your family. I suspect, by the way you've couched this, that you got more than enough money to do this. It's just you don't want to screw with it. And so I think the two of you need to sit down and say, okay, here's what happens if we do it. Here's what happens if we don't do it. And this is not you giving your granddaughter a stick of candy. This is you and your wife building a house. And so she's not a little girl. She's a woman. And so the two of you need to sit down with a good vote, and she needs to be a grown-up and go, I'd love to build a house, but it's not really best for our finances, and I'm going to set that aside. Or you need to look at it and go, I don't really want to go through the hassle of this. Building a house is a pain in the butt, which, by the way, it is. But it kind of sounds like it could be an adventure. We got the money without any doubt. Mama really wants it, and I don't mind engaging in this process, even though it's not my favorite thing to do, because it's a gift to my wife, and we've got the money. So somewhere in there is your right answer, and I'm not even going to ask your situation. I'm going to make you make the decision. I'm not going to give you a blessing. It's not my job. My blessing to you is for you to have the tools to make your own decisions, and I think you've got them. But what you do need to do, what I am going to bless you to do, is for the two of you to sit down as two adults, not you taking care of some little girl that wants a stick of candy at the store. This is your wife. And, there's times that Sharon wants some things, and there's times that Dave wants some things. And maybe the other one doesn't care, or maybe it inconveniences the other one. It's a little outside my comfort zone, but let's go ahead and go that way. And, then there's times that we're both in complete agreement, and there's times that one of us just doesn't give a rip. You do whatever you want to do. I'm good with it. It doesn't bother me, and obviously it matters to you, so go do it. And that's an agreement too. But we're making our own decisions with our money that is not interfering with our future and our ability to build wealth. And because that then gives us the options to do the other stuff. So it's really, really important that both of you have a vote.
Well, and have the energy and care enough, both of you, by the way, Dave, to engage in this conversation. Because so many people, they just one person wants to win, or one person doesn't even have the energy to talk about it, so they just let the other person win. And you're going to come to the best decision for your family when you both engage and keep working through it. If you don't figure it out in the first conversation, have another one. And another one, and another one. Keep working through it until you guys come to something that you both feel good about, and it may take some time and effort to get there, but it's going to be worth it when you actually both feel seen and valued in that decision.
This is The Ramsey Show. right, Ramsey Personality is my co-host today. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, Glenn and Mandy are with us on the debt-free stage. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey, we're good.
Welcome. Where do you guys live?
Buffalo, West Virginia.
Okay.
Which is near Charleston, West Virginia.
Yeah, very cool. Good to have you. Welcome. And how much debt have you paid off?
$140,000 in 4 years.
Good.
Awesome.
Way to go. And your range of income during that time?
From $85,000 to $103,000.
Cool. Wow. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
And I have my master's education, but I actually stay home with my girls. So,
oh, good.
Yeah.
Very cool. Good. Good for y'all. What kind of debt was the $140,000?
That was our house.
Whoa! Look at it, weird people!
Way to go, you guys.
House and everything.
Yep. House and everything, yep.
How old are you guys?
38.
And you have a paid-for house?
Paid-for house, yeah.
You are so weird.
Yep.
I love it. How much is this house worth?
Probably about $225 now.
That's fun. Very cool.
That is awesome.
Very cool. Congratulations. All right, so what happened 4 years ago made you decide, okay, we're knocking this baby out?
Well, we've been on the journey since 2010, actually. So we paid off our consumer debt 2013. From 2013 to 2017, we did. Our oldest daughter has special needs, so we have a lot of expenses with that. Plus, we had another baby for our third child.
All right.
And then we did a lot of things as well.
Sure.
So we went off, put our foot off the gas, and slowed down a little bit.
You were working 4, 5, and 6, and just enjoying some of it.
Yep. And then
good.
really in 2017 is when we got more intense and decided to pay off the house. We had a goal to pay off by the 40, but now we're 38, so 2 years before.
I love
for
it.
you. Good
Very
for you.
Cool. Good. So you started with us way back in, you said 2010?
Yeah, 2010. So actually her dad gave us the CDs about 2 or 3 years after we got married.
Yeah.
And so we listened to them. I listened to a lot of them. She, I told her about a lot of stuff. And then
the engineer did the spreadsheets.
He did.
Yeah.
Lots of spreadsheets.
Yeah, so then we went through, did the financial piece class, and then got out of consumer debt. And then her big thing was every dollar really got her going more.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So. Okay. So how are the investments going?
Pretty good. We're probably over $500,000 in investments for retirements right now.
And you said the house is worth 3?
2.
2. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So it won't be long. You'll be Baby Steps millionaires.
Yep.
Yeah, you're on your way. Wow. Way to go, you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, probably you'll be 40 years old and be millionaires.
Yeah, hopefully.
Might be the first one in your family?
Probably not.
No, there's other millionaires.
Yeah.
Good. Very good. Okay, that's good. Well, it's a family tradition then.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you didn't inherit any of this, though?
Didn't inherit anything.
Yeah, you just pushed it all the way through.
Correct.
Way to go. So you've been through Financial Peace University. You got rid of the consumer debt. You decide you're going to attack the house. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Communication, I think. Me and him sitting down and doing the budget every month was really key for me, because I would just be like, whatever, just do whatever. And he's like, no, I need to know what you need. And so we started doing that, and the Every Dollar app, just being able to go in and see every month and put it in, and that's just what really worked for us.
Yeah, that's good.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't love budgeting, and one of the things that's so great about Every Dollar, and I use this, is it's such a beautiful experience. It actually makes it more fun. It's kind of gamified, of like when you drag and drop your transactions and you see the different numbers move. So well done, you guys. That's awesome. That's so cool. And you're right. Communication is such a huge piece of it. So many aspects of marriage are affected by communication, and money is a huge one.
Yes.
Way to go.
Well, Glenn, it sounds like you did a good job of pulling her in.
Yeah, it was, at first it was definitely me, but I was going through spreadsheets. I would ask her all the time, hey, what'd you spend this on? And then she's like, I can't remember. That was 2 days ago. That was 3 days ago.
It was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. But once we got on the same page later on, and going through the house was a lot easier because we were already past that point and be able to just, all right, we're both on the same page.
Yeah.
That one.
We're just chunking on this thing. We're just beating on it, knocking it down.
That was the big thing for us.
Yeah. The last 6 months, he had, I think, 7 different ways we could pay off the house, and I was like, just pick one. I don't care. Just pick one. I'm tired of looking at spreadsheets.
His hobby's gone now. He didn't have a hobby.
Real.
Microsoft Excel is one of the best ones.
So How's it feel to not have a payment in the world?
It's
great.
Amazing.
Awesome.
I mean, so we paid off in May, so we've had a few months now of not having a house payment. It was great going in every dollar and just deleting that out of on the thing. So feels very good.
Yeah, nothing to do with $103,000 except pay some taxes and enjoy it.
Exactly, and she likes to enjoy it.
That's good. That's good. You live like no one else. Later, you can live and give like no one else.
Exactly.
So
that's the big thing.
Yeah. Well done, you guys.
That's awesome.
Very well done. So you say the budget is the key for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because that's pretty cool to be talking to 38-year-olds with paid-for house.
Yeah.
That's got to feel kind of accomplished.
Yeah,
For
it
sure.
does.
Yeah, very neat, guys. Very neat. Well, we've got a copy of the Legacy Journey for you. That's definitely the next chapter in your story for sure, that you become baby steps millionaires, change your whole family tree. You are well on your way. You'll be there in a couple of years, really, with the way your numbers are stacking up. So pretty incredible. That's going to be neat. Very good. And, of course, the Total Money Makeover, so you can give that away because you've been talking about this to somebody, I'm sure.
Yep.
And give that away and get somebody started on their journey. So proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Well done, heroes. Took control of your life, and you proved it can be done.
Oh, yeah.
You think this can still be done in America today?
Oh, yeah, definitely. In all honesty, we tell everybody about it. I mean, that's something, how much it's changed our lives. So we're telling people all the time. And so... Had a lot of cheerleaders.
Few friends that have started with the every dollar budget, and they're like, it's just so free.
That's right.
So
we've led Financial Peace, been Financial Peace coordinators.
Awesome.
Got people that didn't have any clue on them and been able to go through it. So
wow.
Yeah, very cool. Well, thanks for doing that too.
Yes.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Way to go, you guys. All right, it's Glenn and Mandy from Buffalo, West Virginia. $140,000 paid off in 4 years, making 85 to 103. House and everything. They're officially weird people. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt free.
I love it! Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. So I don't know what has shifted, but something shifted in the past 5 years. Laura Johnson was phone screener on the show for a long time and has moved up into leadership in our production team and is filling in today for Kelly. But Laura, you can attest to this, that it is almost every break when I go out with at commercial breaks to meet people in the lobby, I meet a Baby Steps millionaire, somebody who's been walking this stuff for 5 or 10 years. Maybe we've just been doing it long enough that we're getting to see the final play of this stuff. But the number of people that have become millionaires, and the number of them as they do their debt-free scream, they're also announcing, oh, by the way, we're millionaires too.
Yeah.
Because they're during their Baby Steps 4, 5, and 6, they're doing their 15% of their income, and then that paid for house, and it turns into money, turns out.
Well, it's amazing. I talked to you about this a couple weeks ago during a break, and I was like, we are getting so many calls and so many debt-free screams of people that have paid off their house. And it feels like way more than we have in the past. And I think you're right. I think it's 30 years of doing this, and you're starting to see the kids of Financial Peace University coordinators and people that have worked the plan, and you're starting to see the compounding effect of people really getting serious even earlier in life, paying off their home, becoming millionaires. And it's way more common now, which is really cool. We are normalizing paying off your house and being a millionaire. How cool is that?
Yeah, we kind of expect you to be a Baby Steps millionaire. You should be.
Yeah.
You should be. I kind of knew that with the math all along.
Yeah.
But now we're just seeing it like
you're seeing
every commercial break.
Yes.
I mean, they're everywhere.
Yes. It's so inspiring.
You're right. It's normalized. Normalized being a millionaire.
That's a cool thing to be known for.
Dave Ramsey doesn't know anything about investing, so I'll just tell you, he's really primitive. He doesn't know squat. You don't want to go to Dave Ramsey for his investing advice.
That's what I hear.
He's making more millionaires than anybody else in America. This is The Ramsey Show. Scripture of the day, Proverbs 28:1, the wicked flee when no one pursues, but the righteous are bold as a lion. Eleanor Roosevelt said, a good leader inspires people to have confidence in the leader. A great leader inspires people to have confidence in themselves. James is with us in Montgomery, Alabama. Hi, James. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Christy. How are you doing today?
Great. What's going on?
Hey, sorry, I'm kind of nervous.
No, you're great. Take your time.
To set everything up, me and my wife are on baby step 2. We're about halfway through, and my stepson graduated high school this past year, and he moved down to where his grandparents live, about an hour away from us, to be closer to the community college that he wants to go to, and he's looking to study into becoming an electrician. So he was told that whatever scholarships he didn't get, by his grandparents, that they would cover the rest. And I guess yesterday my wife told me that the grandparents only covered half of what was left over, not including books. So my stepson ended up having to come out of pocket and pay the difference. And he hasn't come to us and asked for, for the money or anything, but it's something that's kind of bothered my wife and I guess kind of weighing on her heart. And she wants to maybe possibly help him out with that. And, I don't feel like he's been exactly financially responsible through, high school and up to this point. He does have a halfway decent job working with his grandparents. They own a contracting company. So he's working with them, doing labor and getting paid for that. But just wanted some guidance on what you guys think, what we could do.
How much is he making working?
Last I was told he makes about $500 a week, and I don't know if that's before tax or after.
And he lives with them for free?
I think he has to pay rent. I don't know how much that is.
Okay. And they paid how much, and how much did he have to come out of pocket?
My wife told me that he ended up having to pay about $400, and I don't know if that's just the tuition or if that included books. I'm actually on my way home now. I was going to talk to her about it tonight, sit down, but I wanted to kind of get your ideas, first.
Mm-hmm. And how's he going to pay for things going forward?
That's going to be one of my questions, too.
Yeah. Really more concerned about that than I am $400.
Yes, sir.
Because his lack of planning is going to constantly create a crisis for other people.
Yes, sir. One idea I kind of had was maybe, if we decide to help him, say, hey, we're going to do this, but here's some stipulations, maybe go through financial peace and, kind of allow us to help him work through a budget and maybe kind of get on track and be financially responsible so that, he can graduate debt free, because I want the best for him.
Yeah, I think that's a really good plan. Yeah, because here's what I heard. Okay. He didn't have his deal with his grandparents solidified. It was vague. He heard they were paying for it. They said they would help him.
Right.
Nobody talked about how much it was and how much was going to be covered or uncovered. But then when it really got right down to it, when he found out what the real deal was, because this kid does not play through details. He just kind of wanders along.
Yes, sir.
Am I missing something?
No, sir. Nail on the head.
Okay. So his life lesson that he gets out of this is the way you hit a goal is you clearly define the goal and every single step to get the goal. And that's what Christy was asking about, the community college and the process there. So, yes, Financial Peace University, and yes, you map out, you have to make $2,000 a month, and yes, we're going to know what the grandparents are paying, and yes, we're going to lay out a game plan by which you are going to be able, with your grandparents' help, to pay for whatever you need to come out of pocket and finish this degree, and this is your goal, and here's how we're going to accomplish it, and we're going to be your biggest cheerleaders, and we're going to be your biggest coach, and we're going to make you lay that plan out, and we're going to make you go through Financial Peace University in return for $400.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, he gets. It's your idea, it wasn't mine. But I think it's a great idea too. But but forcing him, because here's the problem: there was no. This is like building a house without a blueprint. What he just did.
Right.
And he's going to have to get past that. That's called growing up.
But I'm curious though. One quick thing, James. You said the difference that was not paid for by the grandparents. He paid that out of his own paycheck.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, I just want to highlight a positive here because he didn't come to you. He didn't ask for money. He paid for it with money that he's earning. So I think that I think that's great. You know what I mean? Like he didn't come like, oh, I didn't plan, so please come bail me out. He paid for it. And so I think that he seems like the kind of guy that while he may not be a great planner, is receptive to coaching and direction and so on. And so I think that this is going to be a great plan where you give him some more tools in his tool belt to be a better planner, to make that money go further. I know a lot of college students that could be like, hey, bail me out, I didn't know. Yeah. And he didn't. And I think that's cool.
Yeah, he goes, I didn't know, so I had to pay for it. This sucks.
Right. But, and he still hasn't come to you, which is awesome.
But he owned it.
Yeah.
That's a positive.
Yeah.
That's a real positive. Mm-hmm. He didn't show up on your doorstep whining. That is a big deal. And I'd reward him and compliment him for that. Mm-hmm. And say, hey, man, I appreciate you manning up, but we want to help you. Mm-hmm. And we want to help you two ways. One is we want you to help you with this planning tool in your brain. We want to insert it in your brain and coach you along on that. If you'll allow us to participate in that with you, we'll show you how to build that plan out and work it with you, and we'll show you how to execute on it by going through Financial Peace University, and then that'll make a ton of sense. Carol is with us in Philadelphia. Hi, Carol. How are you?
I'm doing great, Dave, and you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay, my question is this. I've worked for the same person for 8 years, and I still have that original salary. Not gotten a raise, nor have I gotten, it's like a cost of living increase.
That's weird.
Which is not a raise. It's just something that, should be giving.
What do you do?
What do I do? I'm his bookkeeper, etc., and a lot of other little things.
How many employees does this guy have?
One.
You.
And he's my son.
One, and he's your son?
Yes. No, he employs me. He's my son. He's a multimillionaire, can easily afford it.
Whether you can afford it is not the point. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Who is your son? Your boss?
Exactly. He hired me to do his bookkeeping and a lot of other things. Like I do.
Well, then why have you waited 8 years to talk to your own kid about a raise? That's weird.
I do this with other people. I expect people to be mind readers.
Well, Karen, thank you for owning that. Hey, we have made great progress just in your acknowledgement of this. This is fantastic. So many women are not aware of that.
I do it even with my husband, who would jump over the moon for me, but I want him to ask me. And I do that around. That's definitely an issue with me.
Okay, so that's how you ask for the raise.
Being aware of it is a great first step.
Yeah, you go, I thought you could read my mind, son, and that I needed a raise after 8 years, and you not giving me a raise for 8 years it's been in my mind, and you couldn't see it, so I'm going to put it out here on the table, so now you can see it, and it's kind of ridiculous that you haven't given me a raise in 8 years, and you really need to give me like a huge raise.
You're the meanest boss ever, and you're my son. Please stop being so mean to your mother and your only employee. Do a better job.
You know what? It hadn't even occurred to him.
No.
He never has thought about it. She's keeping the books. He just assumed if she wanted some money, she would have said something.
Well, she's about to. Carol, you're about to.
Yeah, you're going to walk in there today and go, I'm taking this out of my mind and I'm going to put it on the table. It's crazy that for 8 years I haven't asked for a raise, and it's even crazier you hadn't given one. So today's the day, Bubba. Different way to ask for a raise. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace.
This is James Childs, producer of The Ramsey Show. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Subscribe or follow today wherever you listen to podcasts.